Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Now listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. You have found the Barbecue Central Show. It's a show that performs weekly for your entertainment, pleasure, and education. We talk about live fire stuff and hot breaking news in the industry, the live fire industry. If you can't catch the show live, you can subscribe to the show on podcast through all of the different various podcast platforms like iTunes and Google Podcasts and Stitcher and TuneIn. You name it. Just search BBQ Central Show in whatever platform you like best, and it will magically appear. Subscribe, and you will get the first hour on Wednesday. You will get the second hour on Thursday. Don't forget, you can follow me socially. I get it, John. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram. You can also do the same handle on Twitter at BBQ Central Show, Facebook/BBQ Central Show, if you want to follow the goings-on in between live shows and podcasts and so forth. However you like to do it, I try and post to all three areas frequently and most of the time at the same time. So if you have a preference one over the other, it's all hitting the social media channels about the same time. Take it as you will. Subscribe or like or friend me somewhere on the internet, for crying out loud. At BBQ Central Show on Instagram and Twitter /BBQ Central Show on the Facebooks. Coming up this Friday on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, produced by John Solberg. Believe it or not, folks.
Andrew.
Wait a second. Wait. That's not what I want. Here we go.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
Well, let's go ahead and throw caution to the wind here and interrupt my take for a phone call. Caller, you're on the air.
Greg?
Yes.
This is Sean from Behind the Smoke.
Friends, this is the 2019 NBBQA Best Audio Podcast of the World, reigning supreme, calling into the show. Sean, how are you, pal?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. What's up?
Oh, I was reading this weekend in a magazine called Playboy, and I saw the Barbecue Central Show mentioned, and I couldn't believe it. I was so proud.
Did you quickly thumb through the rest of the magazine and open the one that extends out one more page, hoping and wanting, or not so much?
No, not so much. I was very happy to see barbecue getting the love it needed in Playboy magazine.
So, what do you think from a recognition level or cachet level does Playboy have in 2019 that it might have had 10 or 15 years ago?
That's a great question. And that's a question that I think you and me and Stover and Derek and Corey, we all had some good discussions at NBBQA in Fort Worth about digital media and podcasting and kind of the whole world that we're living in now. And Playboy, along with, even ESPN. I grew up on ESPN, and I don't watch SportsCenter anymore, which is kind of hard to believe. Mm-hmm. So I think Playboy is doing the right things and reaching out to niche markets like barbecue because, as you know, as being the king of barbecue, you've been podcasting for, 12 years now?
We just started the 11th year in February.
11 years.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Very proud of you, Greg. You're an inspiration to all of us fellow podcasters.
Well, thank you. So I had mentioned in the show open that you guys were ending your Behind the Smoke format at episode 100. So is there another podcast of some sort coming down the pike, or what can fans of your show be expecting as you potentially reload into something else?
Well, I actually blame you, Greg. You're the reason why the show ended.
Why?
Because you 2 years ago when we started podcasting, you called out all the other new barbecue shows, and you said specifically that you were the one that was going to last, and that all these shows come and go, and Greg Rempe will be here to stay, and it looks like you were right.
Damn right. I got no hardware to prove it, but damn right. I mean, it's a tough deal, right?
What place did you get this year?
This year, not entered. Not entered. Look, Sean, should I have to pay to get an award? I mean, it was a no-win situation, as I had talked about last year. I was either going to win last year and go, oh, great, I paid $75 to win, or what happened, I'm going to pay $75. I'm not even going to be like in the running. I didn't even hit the board last year if we're a betting man. I mean, it was embarrassing. It's incredible. It's tremendous. It's heartbreaking. I mean, you've been up and down this roller coaster.
You said it, and I heard your interview with Meathead, who was at the conference. It was a great interview. You hit a lot of key points that are a struggle. They're a struggle for a nonprofit organization, but I think the National Barbecue Association, there's one thing that it does have, and it has incredible people.
Yeah.
But incredible people, leaders, business people, they don't have very much time, and to get people from all over in different parts of the country together to organize not just a conference, but to have a membership and a growing membership. It's a difficult task to do for anybody.
Sean, how's the restaurant doing before I let you go?
Restaurant's doing fantastic. We're in our 11th year, actually. April 20th will be our 11th. So, wow, you must have started podcasting right when we started Cali Comfort Barbecue.
Well, I think one of us
April 20th, 2008.
One of us took a bigger risk than the other, if we're being honest.
Yeah, in 2008, it wasn't the best idea to open up a barbecue restaurant in East County, San Diego, but we're grateful we did.
And how's my man, the biggest human being in the world, Derek Marso?
Derek Marso is doing fantastic. He is working on getting a second location opened up in La Jolla, and
nice.
He's got 3 kids, so we're all busy. I'm waiting on a baby girl coming in June.
Look at you! All right,
you know how it goes.
Look at you! All right. Well, if you need any girl advice, I'm your rock to lean on and your sounding board when frustration sets in. So just feel free to give me a text or a call. That. Yeah, no doubt about it.
When my daughter starts playing volleyball, I'll be sure to hit you up.
Yeah, I have a lot of useless knowledge about that as well, no doubt about it. So if you are, go ahead.
I heard your volleyball podcast, and I'm going to have to listen to it once she starts playing.
Yeah, I'll make sure
Don't forget to tell your listeners about your volleyball podcast.
Yeah, I'll Dropbox all of those.
I really enjoyed that.
I'll Dropbox all those to you so you can go to those for reference. It's like the Encyclopedia Britannica of volleyball Jo. Yikes! Wow.
You're the best, Greg. Thank you very much.
All right, Sean, take care.
Great job congratulations on your Playboy article.
Yes, thank you very much. That's Sean, everybody, from Cali Comfort Barbecue. If you are in the Las Vegas, if you are in the San Diego area and you are looking for great barbecue, legitimate barbecue, I mean, you can certainly find barbecue wherever you want, right? I mean, it's one of the most popular styles of food out there now. It has been for the last number of years. But if you're going to be out there and you want something that we would call legitimate barbecue, a great atmosphere, especially if you are pro San Diego, I mean, that is probably the sports place to be hanging out at. Oh, by the way, you can get legitimate barbecue there, so you can feed both of your fascinations and fanaticisms. Sean Walchef. And again, the 2019 Barbecue Podcast of the Year as ranked by NBBQA. So thanks to Sean for calling in unannounced and having him talk a little bit about everything there. Appreciate that. As I had mentioned, kind of going out of the first transition with Steven Reichlin, we do have a brand new sponsor of the show, as you can see right there. It is Fogo Charcoal. Look, I think anybody that is anybody knows, I mean, we love fuel sources, whether it be hickory-flavored liquid propane, that's a nod to my boy Clint Cantwell, or traditional briquettes, flavored briquettes, infused briquettes, lump charcoal to varying degrees. And Fogo is, I think, widely considered to be, if not the one of the most preeminent brands as far as quality is concerned when you're looking at lump charcoal. So if you have been in search of a great lump charcoal, if you're sick of what your Lowe's might be providing or what your local mom and pop might be providing, and you're just looking for another option to try, as I say with everything, give the sponsors first consideration. That would be Fogo Charcoal. The website, FOGO Charcoal, CHARCOAL, FogoCharcoal.com. It's Sebastian Bussert and the gang out there in Florida sponsoring the show, so we give them a hearty shout-out. Might have a new background coming up. I need some help from some people in Kentucky on that. But we'll get it taken care of. I do have a tiger meat to talk about. I do have a meatless burger at Burger King to talk about at some point. But it's not going to be right now. I'm going to talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers. The #1 online shop for all things barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at BigPapaSmokers.com has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. Big Papa's has been known for the championship rubs and seasonings, popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Cow, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow. All proven winners on the competition circuit. Big Papa's offers 13 perfectly balanced flavors that will transform ordinary meals into extraordinary. Whether you're cooking to impress the judges or your friends and family, Big Papa Smokers' award-winning rubs and seasonings just don't disappoint. Don't forget, they also have that great relationship with Steph Franklin over at Simply Marvelous Barbecue. Put those two rubs together, now you have the West Coast offense. What else needs to be said about that? They also have a sale going on right now on the Granny's barbecue sauce. I believe I saw that earlier today, 50% off the bottles. So if you're looking for a new go-to barbecue sauce, Granny's is the one you're going to want to try right now. Available for sale right now at BigPapaSmokers.com. Aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, Big Papa Smokers also offers the very best pellet, charcoal, and wood cookers available today. You're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use? Check out that Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill. Meathead also uses that for all of his recipe testing. Big Papa's is the exclusive Mac dealer. They even offer special packages. If you're not a fan of the pellet smokers, no problem. Try the old Hickory Ace BP. It's charcoal-driven. It's the only one that Sterling trusts on his competition trailer. If you're a backyard barbecue enthusiast like me looking for a durable and versatile grill that will last forever, the M Grill from Texas is just what you need. They're built like tanks. Not sure what kind of grill you need? You really can't go wrong with any of the grills featured on BigPapaSmokers.com. They have something for every kind of budget and backyard cook. It's clear that Big Papa's the place to go for all things barbecue. If you have any questions, call them 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727. Or shop the website, BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA, smokers, plural, smokers.com. We are back with Veterans Q and another Steve. Stick around, be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And this portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. And if you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck because Fireboard is fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com. Or Call 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232. Trying to line up Ted Conrad for another segment here, but we'll see how that goes. My first guest in the second hour has gotten into the sauce and rub business recently. Also, served our country for an 8-year stint. I am always interested in learning about the stories of folks who get into this side of the biz. So let's go ahead and race to the Fogo Charcoal head. I got that all screwed up. The Fogo Charcoal hotline, and welcome first-timer to the show, Steve Lulofs of Veterans Q. Steve, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about you, Greg?
I'm absolutely fabulous, Steve, and appreciate you joining. I had no idea as I was putting this show together this week that there were going to be 3 different Steves, and believe it or not, 3 different ways. So you're Steve. The next guest is Steven, but he's Stephen, and then there was Steven Reichlin, who's just Steven. Did you know you were going to be part of an historical night of Steves?
I did, of course.
Wow.
We all got together and, we put it together for you.
This was a conspiracy of the highest regard in a good way.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Steven Lindars even showed up. or Robin, but whatever. I mean, I tried to go Stephanie. 4 for 4, but Stephanie, Steve, whatever. So before we get into the barbecue rub and sauce talk here in the associated business, let's get a little background on you, Steve. Where are you from originally, and where are you at now, what you might do for a living?
All right. Well, I'm actually from all over. I was a military brat, so I was born in Arizona, moved all over the place. I call myself home, Georgia. So I went to high school in Georgia, and then I came up to Illinois for college, and met my wife in school and got stuck here in the Chicagoland area.
Are you north or west or south of Chicago?
We are northwest of Chicago in a little town called Huntley, Illinois.
All right, so I have to ask, because he was one of the most prolific 2-time guests ever on this show. Where are you in relation to Berwyn, Illinois?
North.
Like, are you 20 minminutes away, or is that an hour away?
No, it's like probably a good hour and a half.
Have you ever been to Cigars and Stripes with Ronnie Lotz?
I have not.
Oh! Damn it! That could have been the coup de grace right off the bat. You would have been the best guest ever.
Of course I've been there. I've been there 3 times.
Yes, we've done it. Best guest right off the bat. So have you ever heard of that place, or do you know of Ronnie? Does the reputation precede, or is it just built up in my mind?
No clue.
No clue.
All right. He's great. He is great. I mean, the best.
He's the best.
Legit.
So let's take a look at the name Veterans Q. As I had mentioned in the top, in the intro, you are someone that has served the country here. So I would imagine that the name is born out of service.
Yeah. So what happened was veterans, when I came back from Iraq back in 2005, I kind of wanted something to do as, be part of the team, the whole veteran type, want to be part of a team. So I just started volunteering with a new organization that just popped up at that time called the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. And just kind of did some volunteer work with them for a number of years. And then when barbecue came around and I had to come up with a name real quick because the mailman was coming, first thing I thought about was veterans. And then Q, I'm a big fan of Tuffy, and he had the Q on his shirt. Yep. So I was like, hey, why not? Tuffy, military guys, got the Q. I'm going to go ahead and, steal his style.
Were you Army guy or Marine?
Yeah, Army.
Yeah,
the only military there is.
All right. Well, there's no way I'm going to get involved in that border skirmish. You can best believe that. So you had mentioned you were over in Iraq. Where were you at? Where did you do boot camp here, and then when did you get shipped over?
I was in boot camp in Missouri in Fort Leonard Wood. Mm-hmm. I was an engineer. So I was an engineer, like combat heavy engineer, bulldoze driver, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then I did that actually in 2002, and then got deployed and called up in the end of 2003. And then so I was in Iraq. I was in just north of Baghdad called Taji. That was our main base. But then I got sent to go hang out in Baghdad for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months. So I ended up hanging out there for a good portion of it.
Obviously not the best of times to be in and around the area, but I mean, did you have any type of interesting food experiences while you were out in the Middle East?
Yeah, it was cool, but I think I had a great time in Iraq. I was able to see a lot of things. I mean, obviously you have a lot of bad days too, but overall it was cool. I was able to go outside and, check everything out, but food-wise was kind of crazy. So you would drive by a little stand and you see 2 or 3 sheep. And then all of a sudden you come back a couple hours later and you only see 1 sheep so, so we had, some falafels, from the locals would bring you some falafels. And when I was in Baghdad, we would go by, obviously you go by they have a whole bunch of chicken stands everywhere. And you kind of just yell out your window and, say, hey, let me get some chicken. And they'll run up to you and give you a plate of chicken or half a chicken or whatever. So, that was really my gist. I wasn't able to get a whole lot of different, variety, but, what I got a little bit.
Were the flavors as kind of pungent or striking as I would make it believe in my mind?
Yeah. It was definitely a little different, a little strong, for sure.
So when did you become interested in live fire? Is that something that you kind of had a passion for growing up, or you were around it as a kid, or did you get into that later?
I got into it later. Actually, like growing up, the only thing I really knew about barbecue was my dad going in the back, was a whole bunch of lighter fluid and, burning some burgers. So like pretty much everybody else.
It's funny how like that's the nostalgia that we know, and we don't look back on it as like, oh, and that was like the worst time. You still look back on it and like, everything was effed up about it, but man, it was like some of the best times ever.
For sure. It was, you look at it back now and I'm like, man, what was he thinking? But I still, there's nothing to me. There's still, it's great to pull out a blue bag and, and have some of that flavor and that smell. It's just good sometimes.
So when do you decide that you're going to get a little bit more versed into barbecue and grilling?
So actually, I'm pretty new. I started actually in 2015. So I like to do a little bit of gambling and, whatnot. So March Madness came around. We started doing some, squares and also doing brackets. And I ended up winning a few $100s in 2015. And I figured out, what am I going to do with the money? I was like, it's only a few $100. Let me just go ahead and, try something out. And I started looking at a GoPro and I realized, hey, I'm not really active. I'm pretty, I'm kind of a thick guy. So I'm not the most active guy. So I was like, what else am I going to do? And then I was just flipping through the TV and Pitmasters was on. And, I always liked barbecue and whatnot. So I just started Googling, what's a good barbecue pit for beginners, and came upon this crazy website called AmazingRibs.com.
Oh, wow.
And when I saw that, I just started Googling, and 2 smokers came up, the Pit Barrel and the Weber Smoky. And I went with the Pit Barrel starting off because it was a veteran-owned company. And I was like, hey, why not? I like veterans. Let's go ahead and try that on, give them a little whirl.
So that was just backyard stuff, or were you already looked into competitions or catering or both?
No, nothing. So yeah, it was just backyard stuff. I just went ahead and bought it, and I received the smoker, only actually like a week or so later, and I threw some ribs on the back in the back porch, and had a couple neighbors over, and I thought it was the best ribs I've ever made in my life, and obviously it's like my first rack ever, and and then I thought it was good. I thought it was just like any other great restaurant like Chili's and stuff. So,
well put.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the products here. At what point are you deciding you want to look at bringing products to market? I mean, had you gotten into competitions at that point, or done any type of a catering, or were products just something that you wanted to try and get up?
No, products actually would never even cross my mind. So after I tried, ribs for a couple times, I was like, hey, I could do this competition thing. I could see the guys on Pitmasters. How hard can it really be? So I ended up signing up for a local backyard competition, and I thought you had to make your own products. I didn't know that you could buy commercial stuff. So I just went on Google and looked up about 10 different recipes or so, and found the most common ingredients, and just went from there. And I had a couple months of practice, and had my neighbors come over, friends come over, and stuff, and they gave me their honest opinion, and that's how actually everything I made. That's how I came up with my chicken and rib rub and our original barbecue sauce.
Do you know that to take it out of the kitchen, you're going to have to find a co-packer to kind of give you the mass and all that stuff, or is that all stumbling and learning blocks that you had to know across the way, or that you learned across the way?
I knew nothing. I everything I'm learning is, what happens or whatever. So I kind of, after doing some competitions and, after the following year, some people were asking, hey, can you go ahead and cook for us? So I started cooking for, neighbors and friends and whatnot. And then from through that, somebody was like, hey, where can I get your sauce? So I just started making it in the kitchen and then, selling it on Facebook. And then I realized, hey, I was doing a couple batches, a week, and it was getting kind of annoying. So I just reached out to a co-packer that I found on our local Chicago Facebook page, and found a co-packer and did a small order, about like 750 bottles, and figured it would last 3 years, like the expiration, and we were sold out in a couple months.
Wow. So, I mean, is that a testament to how good the sauce is, or were you fitting a niche? Was it both?
I think it's both. I think the sauce is pretty legit as it is, but I think without knowing what we were doing, I think our mission, actually was a real big part of it too. So I think that's when stores started calling us and asking for our products. Then we started realizing, hey, we actually got a pretty good marketing thing, because we donate 100% of our profits back to veterans. So, and that came about because we won our first barbecue, backyard competition. It was only $100, but we were like, hey, me and my brother are on the team, and we were like, hey, we don't need the money. Let's just donate it, and then we just kind of figured, hey, let's just keep doing that. When we cater, we'll donate. And, if we sell some sauce, which we probably won't sell too much, we figured we could donate a couple $100, and let's just do that and do it for fun.
So you stole my thunder there and got into the whole donation part. I was going to get into that here in a couple minutes, but let's go ahead and deal with that. So, look, I mean, what you're doing is tremendous. I mean, I get that there's obviously a huge tie-in for you. I mean, you had time in the service. You are very interested in, or at least it sounds like you're very interested in making sure the veterans are taken care of here when they're back stateside. You are investing 100% of the profits on catering, on competition, on barbecue sauce, not into the business, but you're going back to veterans. So how are the business side of me goes, well, okay, I mean, that's great to donate a portion of profits to this, that, or the other thing. But you got to have some money to reinvest into getting more competitions in, or more sauce made, or supplies for catering. Do you use any of that to support that, or are you guys just independently wealthy and you're just pumping money into it because there's going to be another couple $100,000 tomorrow?
No, I'm a broke government employee.
Nice.
So no, so what I did, I just funded everything up front myself, and then I just paid myself back. So I donated all my profits, but I pay myself back. So kind of like the beginning of the year, I kind of just upfront everything again, and then usually it gets paid back right away. And that's it. And then I just kind of keep reusing that money over and over and over again. And then at the end of the year, we come up with whatever we have, and then go ahead and donate what we can to we actually make sure we go to reputable organizations that are not just feeding the big wigs and the CEOs.
How do you go about picking those? What's your due diligence?
I do a lot of research on them. It's a lot of also from friends. Since I the last 15 years or so, or 10 years, since being involved in veteran nonprofits and being around the nonprofit whole sector, you kind of know what to look for and kind of which ones are good and which ones aren't. So for us, an organization, for us to donate to, 80% of the funding has to at least go to veterans themselves. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a nonprofit is going to have, overhead and whatnot. So we figured 80% is a good number.
We are talking with Steve Lulofs from Veterans Q, the website Veterans Q, like the letter Q, veteransq.com, if you want to check it out here while we're chatting it up here. Let's say 10 years ago, maybe ignorance is bliss here if you're only into it, 3 or 4 years, but I have a long track record here in this game, so I ask a lot of questions from a very nostalgic and long, a long time point of view. 10 years ago, bringing a sauce or a rub or both to market wasn't nearly as competitive as it is today, or 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Is that something that you had any type of visibility on or any type of concern with on how you were going to set your products apart from the millions of other things that were on grocery store shelves and on the internet?
No, nothing at all.
Wow.
The only thing I knew of barbecue sauce was Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yes.
And that's it. Local Chicago guy.
Yep.
So, I knew nothing about sauce. I'm still learning everything. My whole thing was, hey, if I could throw out some money, be able to donate a couple bucks here and there to some veterans, I'm all for it. But I think there could be there's a million sauces out there. There's very little profit into it. But I think there's so many, they're so open. Everyone, I think there could be a million more. It's just, there's room for everybody out there, no matter what, the more I look at it. But hey, this is great. If I could, my goal now is to, it was never to have a company until, now it's actually, hey, this is something legit. We're going, we could actually get, we could actually do something big. So now we're, into the focus is trying to get our profits a little bit better. We're, searching out more things, we did some sponsoring and whatnot. And, we're trying to hit social media again. And we have a couple employees that we hire, and we have some great, volunteers. Like, we have a guy named Guzman who is just over the top, that just goes crazy. And, he's there 100%.
Steve, from a retail sense, are you just online? Are you in brick and mortar retail stores as well?
Yeah, we're online, obviously, at veteransq.com, but we're also in Chicagoland. We're in it's called, the big one's called Jewel Osco. We're in all the Jewel Oscos, which is about 200 stores or so. But we're also in multiple mom and pop stores, a couple Hy-Vees, throughout. I think we're in now it's 13 states or so.
Wow.
Like Virginia, Massachusetts, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, stuff like that.
And that's the key, right? You got to get into a bunch of different real physical locations, not just depend on people finding you over the internet. Correct.
Yeah. Actually, we do pretty well on the internet, but I think to actually get your numbers out there and actually make a big difference for what we want, we got to hit you have to hit that grocery store, and hopefully, it's all about the numbers games, obviously, and we're learning that.
All right, so if you are interested in checking out Steve's products, you go to the website, veteransq.com, and check out the sauces and the rubs, everything that he has to offer there. And don't forget that 100% of those profits are going to be donated to veterans organizations that they have vetted out. So rest assured that money is going into the right hands and doing the right things. Steve, really appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man, and sharing your story, and continued success.
Definitely. Also, just let you guys know, we're going to do a little special promo code for everybody.
All right.
With you guys. We're going to do 20% off of all your orders. So the discount code is going to be BBQ20. So everyone, go ahead and use the code BBQ20, and you get 20% off on your orders. And not only are we a good company, but we have some crazy good products, and we've received some awards from MBBQA and the Barbecue News.
All right, so 20% off. It's BBQ20 at checkout. I'll go ahead and link that up in the show notes as well and do a news blast. So, again, really appreciate the discount and sharing your story.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
You got it. There he is.
All right.
It is Steve Lulofs from veteransq.com on the Fogo Charcoal Hotline. Who doesn't love a deal? We all love deals. That's right. Go to VeteransQ. That's VETERANSQ.com at checkout. 20% off with code BBQ20. Great story. All right, let me talk to you quickly about my pal, Matt Eads. You know him as the Grill Seeker if you are following him on Instagram or any type of social media. As we had mentioned last week, the book is out. That's right. Basic Training for Everyday Grilling, brought to you by The Grill Seeker. If you are not familiar with who Matt is, let me give you a little background on him. From the battlefields of Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Bosnia, to a state-of-the-art outdoor kitchen, Matt Eads is looking to unite people through grilling. No matter the race, gender, sexual orientation, cultural upbringing, socioeconomic standing, or political affiliation, cooking over fire brings people together. There's just no two ways about it. Differences get set aside. Business gets done. That's why you need to go out and get your copy of Grill Seeker Basic Training for Everyday Grilling right now. Do it on Amazon. You can link over on my website. Click on the Grill Seeker logo. That will take you right to the book order page, and then you can grab it up. Get one for a friend or one as a summertime gift. The focus of Grill Seeker is to show readers that gourmet grilling doesn't just have to be a weekend activity. With Matt's tips and tricks, you can craft amazing meals and create amazing memories for family and friends every night of the week. The memories and the camaraderie that grilling has created for Matt, dating back to his teen years all the way through his time in the Marines, fuel the desire to spread his passion for outdoor cooking. They're also the reason he started the United by Flame movement on social media under the hashtag United by Flame. Few teasers from the book. Let me tickle you with a smoke-infused feather, if you will. How about grilled grapes and roasted garlic-infused ricotta crostini? Yeah. Grilled Nashville hot chicken. I love Nashville hot chicken. Grilled peach boats with mascarpone ice cream, just to name 3. Chock full of great recipes just like that, all easy to do. Success guaranteed. Again, don't forget to join the hashtag United by Flame movement. Head over to grillseeker.com, and at the very top of the site above his Grill Seeker logo, click the United by Flame link, and then check out the page. Don't forget to send in a photo of you cooking in front of your grill or barbecue pit or both. Matt will share it on his page. And now you're an official member of the hashtag United by Flame movement. Grillseeker.com, the website. Go to my website, the BBQCentralShow.com. Click on the Grill Seeker logo. Link over and grab a copy of the book right now. Shipping directly to you. You'll have it in 2 days if you're Prime, right? Right, we are back with the Perfect Draft BBQ Blower. Stick around, I'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, are you ready to find out where you rank against all competitive barbecue teams across the country? Visit SmokingWithSmithfield.com to check out your rank on the Smokin' with Smithfield National Barbecue Championship leaderboard. That's right, the website SmokinWithSmithfield.com, SMOKIN with Smithfield.com. There's also still a few spots left to be part of this year's Smokin' with Smithfield Committed Cooks, but don't delay. SmokinWithSmithfield.com is the place to go. All right, helping me close the show tonight, an inventor, an entrepreneur, and a barbecue and grilling fan. He also went to the NBBQA conference a week or so ago, and we will talk a little bit about that as well. But let's go to the Fogo Charcoal Hotline and welcome back the creator of the Perfect Draft BBQ Blower. Stephen Thibodeaux joins me. Tib, what's up?
Hey, not much, Greg.
Steve, appreciate you joining me. I didn't know if you were aware or not, but you are now 3 of 4 guests named Steve or Steven tonight. How about that?
That's awesome.
Stephen Thibodeaux. We had Steve Lulofs from Veterans Q ahead of you. Of course, some guy named Stephen Reichland led the show out. So,
I know.
The second guest was a female, so the odds of her name being Steve were probably very slim. But
Yeah.
now, hey, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. I think that was a Meatloaf song, if I'm not incorrect. I know I'm actually incorrect, but whatever. So before we get into the updates of the Perfect Draft tonight, Stephen, let's talk about the 2019 NBBQA event that you attended in Kansas City. I guess, high level, what were your 2 or 3 big takeaways from the event, either positive or negative?
Well, the event was held in Kansas City this year,
Yep.
and it was a very nice event. I mean, they really put on a good presentation. The awards dinner banquet was really nice. A big turnout. I think pretty much all the people, about 90% of the people who won awards at the banquet actually was there to receive their award, which was pretty good. And, they put on a really professional show, really nice event.
So do you learn anything from, those 3 or 4 days that you're there that you like, hey, I'm going to apply those things directly to the Perfect Draft business as we go forward?
Yes, I mean, I talked to a lot of different people who have different style barbecue pits, offset smokers, these vault smokers. So there were a very array of different smokers and different styles of cooking, barbecuing.
So does this, is that opening up new channels for you that you hadn't really considered the blower for, or you knew they could work, you were just looking for a door in?
Well, yeah, absolutely. By looking at the different style smokers and pits that they were using, it got my mind working on what type of adapters we needed to actually work with their smokers. And now our unit is very flexible as far as working with a lot of different smokers out there.
Stephen Thibodeaux joining me here on the show, and the website is theperfectdraft.com if you want to check it out here while we're talking and closing out the show this evening. So from a breakout session, Stephen, were there any that you attended specifically that you are looking forward to?
Yeah, the main thing we went for, Greg, was the actual award ceremony because we knew that we placed within anywhere from 3rd to 5th position is what they sent us an email about. Last year, we placed 1st, of course.
Yep.
This year, we came in 5th, and this is a little certificate here. So we took 5th place this year, which was cool.
Yep.
It was nice. And had the pleasure of meeting Myron Mixon, took a picture with him, Meathead, Hayward, Harris. I mean, different people, barbecue celebrities and legends. So that was neat.
So, I mean, is that the best part of the week for you? I mean, obviously the business and make contacts, networking is huge. That's probably why you go first and foremost, but meeting those people that you had mentioned and probably a bunch of other ones, is that like the best part of the week for you from a fanboy standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the best part, and tasting all the different barbecue, tasting the different varieties of barbecue out there. That was a high point, as well as making contact with all the different people in the industry. So it was cool. So
will you go to Louisville next year and do MBBQA 2020?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'm in the swing of it. Our company is doing well. We're making a lot of new contacts. We're trying to get in some brick and mortar stores now. This is our 3rd year. So the more contacts we make, the more business we'll have.
Let's talk a little bit about the Perfect Draft. And as I had mentioned to Stephen Reichlin about his new barbecue book, let's go ahead and kind of recap if somebody's just joining us for the first time or they're just finding the show on podcast and haven't gone back through all the substantial archives. Let's do a quick recap on the unit and specifically what it's made for.
So basically the unit is right behind me here. And the unit is made for offset smokers, vault smokers, barrel drum smokers, and is very versatile. It actually has a switch for automatic mode. You put your temperature probe in here. It's rechargeable up to 17 hours on a single charge.
Wow.
We also have a new adapter here, a hook that's universal, where a person doesn't have to do any drilling in their smokers. These 2 pieces of metal sandwiches in between on the firebox doors. And then from there, you've got the adapter that snaps on. And, it works. It's very handy. So it's universal. It works on various types of smokers, and we're steady making different versions. We have a version 5 that's not even out yet. And, I can't wait to get it to the public and let everyone see it.
Are there huge revisions to that one compared to some of the other ones? Is that like, going from a 3GS Apple phone to an iPhone 4, or just kind of incremental updates?
It's incremental updates, but as well, the heart and soul of the whole device is the circuit board. So we're making huge modifications to the circuit board. Also, we're going to make a cover over the control panel. So it'll be a cover that protects it from any water.
Yep.
So it'll be waterproof. And, it's some major electronic upgrades on it.
Stephen Thibodeaux joining me here on the show from Perfect Draft. Is there a cooker that you find that product really shines on? I mean, certainly it's versatile and you can put it on a bunch of different ones, but is there one that might stand out a little bit more above?
Well, I think you have a Lang 84, and it works great with the Langs. The old smokers that are out there, the Oklahoma Joes, it works great with it. But honestly, Greg, I mean, it works absolutely great on any backyard barbecue as well as the professional competition style. The unit is very versatile, and I don't think there's another unit out on the market that is particularly like ours. So we're pretty proud of it. And one thing I'm pretty proud of here is this. So we've got it patented this year, and it's actually trademarked, and that was a big accomplishment. So we're looking to possibly get with other businesses out there, and like I said, get into a lot of brick and mortar stores now. So that's our goal.
From a revisions standpoint, obviously, I think I probably had one of the original type barbecue blowers, and then you just recently sent me a different one, which I'm going to be hoping to get to use here over the next couple weeks and give you a full review off air, of course. But how much does that one that you had just sent me differ from that original one? Is that going back to, again, different circuitry and brains and stuff, or were there other hardware modifications?
Yeah, so pretty much like you said, the circuit board, the brains of it is an upgrade, as well as the actual adapter. And I'm going to pull it out real quick. So the adapter that I sent you is a 2-part adapter. So you can connect it to your smoker like this, and this would be the smoker side, and the blower would be on this side. And then it can come apart, and if you take it apart, you could put the flex hose here in between, and you could get it out of the weather and move it anywhere you want. So I think I sent you all of that.
Nice. So the flex hose is not a accessory piece that comes with the kit.
Well, the standard version only comes with the adapter that I showed right here.
Okay.
But as an accessory, you could get the flex hose, and the flex hose is just an extra piece where if you want to move the blower out of the weather, this thing stretches out to like 5.5, 6 feet.
Wow.
So if it's raining, you don't have to keep it on the firebox door. And also, this universal hook is an accessory as well.
Okay, and then I guess just for people that are asking, you got some pretty high-powered, heat-resistant magnets that are on the front side of that blower that attach itself.
Right, correct. So originally, the original design, they just connected magnetically to the firebox doors. But you have some large smokers, generates a lot of heat, so that's why we have the metal adapter now.
All right, so what are we looking at? Standard issue, I got a Close, I got a Gator, I got a Lang, you name it. What are we looking at from a price point, and what am I getting in that box?
Price point is averaging around $240. In that box, you're getting a charger, you're getting a temperature probe, you're getting the 2-way adapter, you're getting the blower, and that comes for $240. And there's some other accessories that you could, get a bag and other things as well. That'll bump the price up to $260.
When you get it out of the box, how long you got to charge it for initially before you can use it?
You could use it right out of the box. I mean, it comes where it's maybe 3/4 of the way charged up. And if you wanted to, probably charge it up for an hour and it'll be at its maximal capacity.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is in terms of battery. Is this something that over the life of the charge, you need to let it go from like 100% down to where it can't even muster a spin, and then you can recharge it again? I guess, in other words, is there a memory to this battery, or do you not have to worry about, charging it every so often and then not being able to fulfill a full charge when you want it to?
No, you don't have to worry about memory life on the battery as far as where it was last charged to. Actually, if the battery is going down and you have an outlet nearby, you could plug it up, charge it while you're using it. And it works just fine. It doesn't damage the battery or anything. The one thing you can't do is if you lose the charger, don't just pick up a charger from your next electronic and plug it in, because that's not going to work.
Stephen, from a demo standpoint, obviously you can go onto YouTube, you can go onto your website and check out all the videos that you have up there to kind of get a how-to, but is there any kind of a return policy that you have, so if somebody buys it and it just doesn't seem to work out for them, that you honor?
Absolutely. Hey, it's a money-back guarantee. If you decided, you take it out the box, you look at it and think, I don't really need this, you can return it and you'll get your money back. If you hooked it up and you tried it out once and, it's not damaged or anything, there's a 14-day return policy on it, and you'll get your 100% money back.
Are there any other products that you're working on that would either work in concert or just be something different that would be under the company umbrella? Well,
mainly to adapt the blower to various types of smokers. There's so many different air openings on these smokers, I mean, you can't cover them all. So we're just looking at trying to get the majority of them where we adapt to them without people having to make modifications to their smokers.
Would you be looking at or maybe did you go to HPBA Expo this year in Dallas?
You know what? I didn't get the opportunity to go to that expo, but I wanted to, but we missed it. Yeah.
So is that something you might be looking at for 2020 then?
Absolutely. We're gonna hit the big expos, trade shows. We're going to get out there and really get exposure to try to meet more companies.
Stephen Thibodeaux is the creator of a product called the Perfect Draft BBQ Blower. You can find them at the website, perfectdraft.com. Search them on YouTube, all sorts of great videos and success stories. And obviously, I am a champion of this product as well. Stephen, always appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, Greg, and it's nice talking to you, buddy. You take care.
All right, you too. There he is.
All right.
Fresh from the 2019 MBBQA, you probably saw Sean Walchef win his 2019 Best Barbecue Podcast Award. Brought to you on the Fogo Charcoal hotline at fogocharcoal.com. So if you have an offset and you have been looking for some kind of a bigger, more robust automatic pit temperature control styled device, then the Perfect Draft BBQ Blower is something that you're going to want to take note of. Again, that website is perfectdraft.com. Theperfectdraft.com. And again, I think all accessorized out. He said it was $260. So when you look at some of the other automatic pit temperature control devices that are currently on the market, I mean, it's pretty price competitive. Plus, it can go on a big honking smoker. I have a Lang 36. I actually drilled, because I had the first iteration, I actually drilled a hole into one of the pinwheels, and I mount it. I do have an adapter that slides on there, and then the pit blower goes right onto the adapter, and it is nice and snug. And then you put a probe into the cooking chamber and then set to the temperature you want, and it'll just keep cycling the fan, and all you have to do is add wood every so often. What I did notice aside from just an easier combustion experience, is that the efficiency increased quite a bit. So I wasn't, pitching in sticks as often as I was prior to that. Again, it's the Perfect Draft, and the website is perfectdraft.com. We're back to wrap up the show right after this. Stick around, be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
Thanks again to Stephen Thibodeaux from the Perfect Draft BBQ Blower, theperfectdraft.com, his website. And again, if you have the bigger pits and you've been looking for something barbecue guru-esque to run on that, this is something you want to consider. $250-ish out of the box. Fully loaded out, $260, $270. Price competitive. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. All right, so let's go ahead and load out. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Stephen Reichlin, barbecuebible.com. Season 2 of Project Fire coming out the weekend of July 4th. Brisket Chronicles coming out next month early, so be on the lookout for that. You can pre-order on Amazon.com. We talked with Robin Lindars, a.k.a. Steve Lindars. Recapped her frost-proof Florida SEA cook. Got the recount of family drama going on before that. I mean, she's a peach, ready to share the drop of a hat. Second hour, Steve Lulofs from Veterans Q, 20% off. If you go to veteransq.com and you use promo code BBQ20, that's BBQ20, 20% off your entire order over there. And they're award-winning. The people are winning at competitions and in the backyard with that stuff. So if you want to check it out, you are helping out the veterans. 100% of the profits are going to veteran-driven organizations. That's great. And we close it out with Stephen Thibodeaux from theperfectdraft.com. Big show planned for you next week. It's the fourth Tuesday, so you know the embedded correspondents are going to be coming in. We have Mr. Meat Church, Matt Pittman, will be coming in as well. We're loaded out. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.